Anna.
Kanan.
Look at this. Look at us. We've upgraded.
We have. Look at this. We got our
What
own
kind of?
private room.
Yeah, we rented this out.
Yeah.
For a whole month. We gotta make the most. We gotta make a podcast every day. Where everybody listening, we're in Anna's room right now.
Sipping on some wine.
Oh God! What is that? Is that like a white wine? Ops?
It's a white, and I didn't look to read what it said on the bottle.
And
I thought it was going to be something else, and it hit.
What if I were allergic? What if I'm allergic? I'm not, but
You're not. The only thing I know that you don't like is vegetables and fish.
And vegetables wrapped in fish, aka sushi. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Or opposite. Sushi wrapped in vegetables, aka sushi.
Oh my goodness.
I had this conversation with our number one listener, Ariana, early today. I like vegetables, but they have to be cooked. They have to be like, I can't eat something like broccoli raw. It like I can eat it, but I don't like it. But when I cook it and then, maybe put in the oven, maybe put a little bit of cheese on there, it's perfect. The only thing that I will avoid is Brussels sprouts, just because of the smell. The smell is so bad.
But have you at least, you've tried them before to say that you do not like them?
Well, yes, obviously,
Okay.
yeah. When I was a kid, a lot of the stuff stems from when I was a kid. Another one, spinach. Cannot eat spinach to save my life.
Again,
the texture.
From a kid.
Yes, as a kid.
And
Well, as a kid, I'm supposed to be eating vegetables. Sorry, everybody. We have to go on this tangent a little bit because it's important.
But I do think, I will say, I didn't like onions at all.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I still don't like raw onion, but now I've graduated because I'm an adult now. That I can do grilled onions. I can do a grilled onion any day.
Okay. Well, yeah, I like grilled onions, but it's got to be like chopped. I can't just have. It's so weird. It's a texture thing for me because it's like I love onion rings. I'll eat those all day with the onion inside.
Okay.
But if I'm eating a burger with onions just straight up, I can't do it.
But is it a grilled onion or a raw onion?
Well, usually on burgers they do raw onions. Usually.
Yeah. So you can't do it.
Yeah. Or tomatoes. I'm not really a fan. It's like too juicy. You bite into a tomato and it's. Oh, this is also our ASMR episode as well. Forgot to mention that. When we're sipping, we're gonna get some sweet sounds in there. To all my Saltburn fans out there, you're welcome. But we won't talk about that right now.
Yeah.
So everybody who's listening, welcome to the Sip and Truth episode 3.
Yay!
We made it. We made it. It's 9:31 p.m. We figured out the audio issues.
Yes.
And it's the Sip and Truth nights.
Yeah.
We call it nights. We have some fan submitted answers from last episode.
Right.
I don't know what they're in regards to. I think it was your trip to Tulum, correct?
Yeah, so quick recap. Last
recap
episode, we talked about my trip to Tulum. We got into kind of the adventures of what I did overall for the time that I was away. And then at the very end, I shared some juicy drama that happened and potentially just posed to our viewers, what would they do if they were in that situation? And if you need a little recap on that,
listen to the previous episode.
Listen to the previous episode, but real quick. Essentially, one of my good friends thought he was in a relationship with somebody, brought her out on this trip, all expenses paid.
Right.
She ended up telling everybody out there they were not together and hooked up with another person on the trip, and he still decided to pay for the remainder of the trip while they were there.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Oh, we're also in a video medium, by the way, for some of our listeners. Thank you for letting us know, because I'm glad to know that you also want to see us while also listening to us.
Yeah, somebody submitted a concern.
Yeah.
And
got on it right away.
Yeah, fixed it.
Right away. It'll be on our YouTube channel probably a little bit later than the actual episode because I also have to edit video. But anyway, so that is the question that we posed to our fans. And we're going to listen to our first one here from your sister. We're going to play it right now.
Let's go.
Oof. Okay, if I was in that man's pickle, first I need kind of prior knowledge. Before they got to Tulum, did they have private conversation? Yes, you and I are together. You and I are seeing each other. Because if that was the case, and then I come to find out that she's telling my friends that we weren't together, I probably would have sat her down then and there and be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here? Like, were you using me? You just using me?
You
But
using
it
me?
didn't sound like he was fazed by that. So, if anything, I probably would have definitely done something after she slept with my friend's son. Like,
Son?
Yeah.
no, just, I probably would have been like, you know what, let's talk about it. Let's just go out to eat. And then just drive her somewhere, drop her off, and then just leave her there. And then she has to find her own way back home. Like,
See ya.
fucking disrespect me like that. What's wrong with you?
Absolutely. You know what? I don't know if we're supposed to be sharing names of like who submits these.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good point. Wait, but their son, the friend's son? What do you mean?
So essentially, like I mentioned before, like there was there was all ages at this event.
Okay.
But one of our good friends, they're probably my age, a little bit older. So
Okay.
they have a son. Well, they actually had two sons that were on the trip with us.
Yeah.
They're all older. They're in their 20s. But essentially, she hooked up with one of them. So,
Oh my god.
yeah.
I did not. I don't think. I don't think I remember that. Did you say that?
Yes.
Did I miss that?
Maybe just in the whole arena of it, it probably just got lost. But yeah.
There was so much. That's so odd. Yeah. I mean, thank you for your submission. Yeah. Kick their ass to the curb. At this point, I think the person that that happened to, I think he would be grateful to hear someone say that.
We'll see. Again, I mentioned this to you before. I reached out just to kind of get feedback from their perspective, and if they wanted to add or come on the podcast. And unfortunately, that person is not talking to me at this time.
Ooh, well.
So
There's a lot of mystery, and
Yeah.
there's things that we may never find out, or maybe we'll have them call in at some point.
yeah, hopefully they will reciprocate and want to come and tell their side.
We're gonna find you. We'll come for you. All right. Well, that was that. So now we have another submission here. Another question. It looks like a little bit longer, but let's see. This is from our next listener.
Hey, this is Been Truth. This is Ari here.
Number one.
I wanted to
Oh, yeah.
respond to Anna's Tulum trip with the friendship drama with the boyfriend and the girlfriend. So I was just
alleged.
kind of thinking what I would do if I was in your friend's situation. So if I had brought my boyfriend to a trip and I covered everything,
Alleged.
took the effort and time to pick him up, bring him there, and I heard that he was telling other people that I'm not his girlfriend, I would talk to him first and foremost. I would ask him why he's saying those things. I would want to know why we're not on the same page. Because if I'm in a situation where I think he's my boyfriend, I personally would know beforehand that we've already had that
Yep,
conversation
exactly.
that like we
Absolutely.
are wanting to commit to be more than just friends. So like if we're boyfriend girlfriend, I wouldn't bring him on the trip if I didn't think that. So I
Right.
would want to ask why he's not feeling the same way I'm feeling. And if it comes to a conclusion that he doesn't want me to be his girlfriend, then I would probably do the too nice of a thing. I would take him home,
Oh.
go back on the trip, enjoy my time, and kind of just be like, hey, you know, at first it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be hurt,
Yeah. Straight up.
but I would realize it wasn't meant to be, and that it was probably for the best. So I hope your friend realizes that it just wasn't meant to be, and it's a good thing that he's not with that person, because I'm sure he deserves someone that respects him. So good luck to your friend, and yeah, that's my personal take.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that was so nice.
That was so wonderful. We need to get them on the show. We need they have some really good. That's so nice. Yeah, I think you definitely did. That would be the too nice of a thing to do for sure. But yeah, that's what they would do.
Yeah, I think the common theme here is the important part is they probably should have established something before they came on this trip.
Right. They should have had a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just tough. And again, this was just my perspective. I would love for this person to essentially dial in or send us some kind of...
These people are sticking up for
Yeah.
you, dude. Despite them not knowing the whole story. Well, who knows? Maybe he's shy.
Maybe.
All right, we got one more, and this one is kind of lengthy. We'll see if we keep the whole thing in. Who knows? But let's hear it.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Brendan.
I have not heard this. I haven't heard any of it.
Long-time listener, first-time caller into the podcast. Just want to say thank you so much for having me on. Kanan, you, I believe, are a hero to the Los Angeles
This is
community.
ridiculous.
With this podcast and outside of it. Anna, you're fine.
Come on.
This is unbelievable.
I appreciate so much for you guys asking me for, sort of my insight on Anna's Tulum trip last week, which sounded like, a great time for the most part. Anna, happy birthday. Ideally, besides all of the drama, you had a wonderful trip.
It was great.
Sure.
But I don't think, if anyone wants to recap what I'm referring to, please go listen to their last episode.
Look at that plug.
I don't remember the name of it right now because I'm ill-prepared. I also want to preface, I'm not an expert on relationships. I am currently single.
Okay.
And,
Nice plug.
I'm enjoying being single. I also want to preface that I'm not an expert on anything. And no one should be really asking for my opinions on things ever because they're not good.
That's great to
But
know.
Why is he
we're gonna
submitting
go-
anything then?
In terms of the trip, in the drama that ensued on that trip, if I'm
Right.
in the gentleman's shoes, where specifically where I brought out a girl to Tulum to meet all my friends, and I understood her to be my girlfriend. I understood to be that I was in a relationship with her. And then we get there and she sort of publicly announces, no, that's not true. We're not in a relationship and I'm here to have a good time and, do things that I want to do that maybe people in relationships would never do because I'm not in a relationship. I'm single and free.
Okay.
Again, thanks for the plug.
The first thing I do to respond to that situation is cry. I'm a crier.
Oh.
I'm a crying guy.
I can confirm that
we
is true.
can't
Yeah.
confirm.
And
Yes.
I love to cry. Crying is having a good cry is
It's a good
a
release.
fucking day in my book.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but I did anyway.
Fuck yeah.
And but I'd cry. I'd let all the tears out, and I'd jar them up and save them for later. And then after that, I would, probably, if nothing else, probably try and go have a conversation with her.
Okay.
And I would
Stomach's
do
upset.
my absolute
Like
best,
sad.
even though I'd probably be pretty pissed off. I would do my absolute best to sort of approach that conversation from a stance of, hey, what did I misunderstand about this situation?
Yeah.
Sort of explain my side. Ideally, this person's willing to have a conversation with me. If they're not willing to have a conversation with me, honestly, guys, I don't know what I would do. Because this is like the only thing
We asked you to answer what you would do.
But assuming they're willing to have some sort of conversation with me, I'd say, hey, to be brutally honest, I thought you and me were doing pretty good. And
Brush
now
on
you're
this
telling
trip.
me that this was never a thing at all. Like, where was our miscommunication? Let's identify that. As a guy who, one of my favorite things to do, I think, when there is conflict is, like, figure out, hey, what were the domino pieces that led to this conflict as opposed to, like, just being, like, angry or upset about things. And so I would try and seek out that information from her. And then, like, sort of depending on her answer is, how I would handle the next stuff. If it was truly just, like, a misunderstanding, I would offer her some feedback and say, hey, so just for
Oh
the
my
future,
goodness. Okay.
Do you have time for
this
some
is
feedback?
the things that happened that made me believe that this was a real freaking thing. And we'd ideally just move on. I wouldn't pay for anything anymore for her.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not like out of spite, but just because at that point I'm trying to save that money.
Of course.
I also don't think I would, like, ask her to pay for the trip that I've paid for this far. Like, that was just never part of the deal, and
Very nice.
I don't think it makes sense to ask that, even if it was a messed up situation. But then, if I found out, like, she played me or something, like she was like, oh,
Intentionally
a free trip to
doing
Tulum, let me say I'm in a relationship with this guy to get said trip and then sort of do whatever I want to do.
Yep, exactly.
I would just, like, kind of be honest with the entire group and be like, yo, this girl's messed up. She's messed up my time.
messed
and
up.
I would ask that
Bad
you
one.
all would respect that. And let's try and enjoy this trip, even though I'm going to be in pain the whole time. Let's try and enjoy this trip, but, like, she can't be there. And just kind of, like, put my foot down on that. Like, she cannot be there if that's what happened. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all.
Yeah.
Let me know if I answered your question. If I didn't answer your question, I'm happy to record
Sure.
this again. Okay. Talk to you all later.
Well, thank you for that lengthy. And I just want to point out that, yes, I am a hero in the local LA community. And Anna is as well. I don't know why. I don't know where you heard this information where Anna isn't, but she definitely is.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was a very lengthy answer, and we actually got the answer about 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes. Yeah, I think that's pretty. I mean, I think the overall theme that we're seeing in these answers is there should have been some communication before or after.
Yeah.
Whether it be feedback or I don't know. Yeah, well, that is. Anything you would add to that, Anna?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I think, again, this was just from my perspective. I mean, I don't know what their conversation was before the trip. I don't know what the conversation's been after the trip. Yeah, that's a tough spot to be in, and I hopefully never have to be in that kind of situation. I mean, relationships themselves are tricky, so
Yeah.
I hope he does listen, and I hope he does understand from what everybody said that, no person should have to deal with that. And hopefully he understands that, yeah, he deserves better and he deserves better. So hopefully it's an eye-opening thing for him and he doesn't repeat this.
Was the person, see, my memory's was the person who she slept with?
Yeah.
Was he part of the friend group and was still there
Yes,
the whole time?
Yeah.
See, that's even weird to be like, I would just,
Yeah.
it would just be like, what? It's weird to have them there as well. It just feels kind of awkward, but what can you do?
I think it was very awkward for him the entire time.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, granted, like that was the first time I met those people.
Yeah.
So again, it's a little tough for me because I don't know them very well, but
Of course.
as a friend, I wouldn't hook up with somebody else's person.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If you came to me and said, "Hey, this is my girlfriend," whether they weren't or they were, there's something
They
there.
came together regardless.
Exactly. I wouldn't do it. I would probably tell you like, "Hey, this person's approaching me. They want to hook up. I'm just letting you know."
Right.
Like that's something I wouldn't do.
There's a
but
whole code for that.
Yeah, like I don't know. That's tough.
The code.
The code.
Bro code. Or whoever.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
the code.
I'm watching Love Island. Wait, what's that?
the friend code, just in general. You don't
friend
do that
code.
to your friends.
Exactly. I mean, I'm watching. Have you ever heard of Love Island?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
I know people are real into it. I know you're
I'm
real into
super into it. I have been for a couple years at this point now.
it. Years.
Yeah, since like 2020 almost. Yeah, 2020.
Oh my
So it's been a few
goodness.
years. And it like usually people are very respectable if it's like, hey, I want to get to know this person. Oh yeah,
Right.
crack on. Go ahead. You know, they're British, so they say crack on. And,
Got it.
you know, like I want to have a chat with this bird. You know, they call women birds, so it's
Birds.
beautiful. Yeah, bird. Well, thank you all for the submissions. I think, yeah, that's really insightful. And let's transition into our ad brought to us by In-N-Out.
Listen, John, you son of a bitch. I don't have much left in me. No, shh. Don't speak. I gotta get this off my chest. You were the best damn friend anyone could have asked for. Give Linda my regards.
What's wrong, boy? What's that? In-N-Out has the best burgers, shakes, and fries in the local LA County?
No, sir. I think he's saying his friend is dead.
Oh, well, you take care of this then. I'm going to In-N-Out. Why the hell not? Come along, pal.
Craving flavor that never fades? Head to In-N-Out. Fresh, quality ingredients in every bite. Taste the iconic perfection now. Wow, what an ad, huh?
Man, I wish I would have had some In-N-Out to eat after this.
I made that ad, by the way, in an In-N-Out parking lot after I had just eaten some food, and this isn't even a plug. $6.38.
Yeah, it's crazy how cheap it is. I think
that I could have paid for In-N-Out for all of us here.
Could have, but some of us are full and some of us are starving.
You're starving? Oh
no,
yeah,
I'll be okay.
Should we get pizza?
No, they already had pizza. It looks like I'm the only one.
Should we order pizza for both of us? I'll eat some.
Oh yeah, 7-inch.
Oh, the producer says they're gonna eat some, huh? They already had pizza. All right, so let's transition into this. The next convo. We had some going along this theme of why not for me in this new year. We went and did some fun stuff.
Yeah.
The past couple weeks.
So the first thing is, one, I'm very proud of you because we talked about, I think, movies last time, and I told you originally I wanted to go see the Iron Claw, and you were totally against it. You said, no, I'm not going to see it. You guys enjoy. I think we talked about the movie club. But I don't know what happened, but you finally, after I bugged you again about it, you were just like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go watch it.
Yeah. And
what did you think?
Well, let me share my perspective before we even go in. Okay. So, again, this theme of why not, I'm trying, there are some things that I'm still hesitant about. Like, Anna sent me a video on Instagram of, like, people going on those huge swings. Like, I have a fear of falling in heights, and it's horrifying to be like, oh, a slingshot, or, where it's like, oh, I'm shot into the sky. I'd be one of those people who would faint the entire time, like scream and faint, probably. But anyway, so Anna asked me about it, and I was like, I know the story more or less, and that is.
I'm sorry, that's my dog, and he was just snoring.
And like I know the story, and I knew that it was going to be just a lot, and I came in, having that feeling of, well, Saltburn was a movie that felt very, a lot of bad stuff happened and it didn't stop. And I was like, this is exactly what the Iron Claw is going to be. It was the same thing, but it was done in a different way. And the storytelling, I loved it. I cried a few times. And, they portrayed the story very well. There are some stuff that they left out, like another...
Oh, yeah, that you had mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, another brother that wasn't even mentioned, but... that's the... I was surprised, and I was glad that I went. And it was a fun time being able to hang out and watch a movie. Our producer was not there. She had producing duties, so she had to make sure that the podcast was still doing pretty well. Yeah. Thank you all for listening, by the way, to these podcasts. Just a little plug in here in the middle of. We've really enjoyed the feedback from all of y'all, and sip and truth. Anyway, we saw the Iron Claw at like 10:45 at night. Well, 10:15, but then the previews went for half an hour. 10:45. And was there anybody in our group that didn't like it? No, I think everybody.
Yeah, I think I just felt a little out of place because.
Oh yeah.
I'm not. I feel like I am an emotional person, but it's certain things that make me emotional.
Yeah.
So everybody around me was crying.
Right.
And,
I sat next to you.
Yeah.
I was hearing the person, one of our friends on the left of me, like just tearing up the whole time.
Yeah, and it's tough because I'm just like, I should be crying, but I don't feel the necessity to cry. Like, I'm sad, but I just don't, I'm not. And I didn't want to look around because I knew everybody was going to be crying. I didn't want to be awkward. I will say the only movie that I think I've been with you that I have cried
was Jurassic World. Because
no, not Jurassic World.
Yeah, because you were laughing. You were crying with tears of laughter. But no. Crying.
No, but crying, actually, like a meaningful, oh my God, like this hurts my soul, was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh my God.
And that was because it was animal related, and I cannot watch anything animal related and not cry.
Right.
And that took a lot in me to not essentially be in the corner bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
I tried to hold it in real tight. But yeah.
From what I've experienced, though, when you did cry during that movie, it was just like you're just wiping I didn't see you like go full ball.
Oh no, but I've watched it here by myself in my room and cried hysterically into like my pillow. And I've watched it with my sisters, and it's different when you're around family members, and you know, it's just like, okay, let the emotion, but around other people, it's not. I'd rather not. It's a sacred thing. Like, I'm not saying you're not special, but I mean that's only for special people.
I see. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I think. I mean, our one listener who submitted that 5-minute clip, could give you a lesson or two about crying for sure.
Whoa,
crying is like a. I know what you. And there's certain movies, like the person who was on my left, our friend Angelina, she did that type of crying where you're like, your whole body's like, like your whole soul just gets
that
into it. That was
to the person next to me. Like it was literally the.
Yeah,
and I'm oh my, like.
You could hear like, no,
like the body, I can feel like the body was shaking. It was heaving, like they were about to explode if other people. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I think that's better than laughing at remember REJ? REJ is mean.
Very mean.
Very rude. But he laughed at we don't want to spoil the movie, but there's a scene where there's an intimate scene in the truck, and we're all just like watching it. And the one character goes, like, I've never done this, and then Ari, like, I just hear 2 seats over. Like Ari.
I think that's just like his natural reaction to things like that.
Uncomfortability, maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm not too sure. Like we went to go
bring RJ on.
For sure, but we went to go watch Napoleon, and there was one. We went to Napoleon and we did take an edible before we watched it. It was probably not a good idea because
always a good idea.
I don't understand what the movie was about. The entire time I was really confused, probably because I was just really high. But there was intimate scenes that happened in Napoleon, and it was the same reaction. And I found us laughing through it, and while the audience is quiet. And I'm like, oh, this is really awkward right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but good movie.
I did not see Napoleon because I figured it was going to be long, and I'm not really a big fan of like war movies. War movies they kind of bore me because it's like I know what happened. I know that there's historical figures that I should probably know more about, but like, what world are we living in now? Where I don't know. Joaquin Phoenix didn't even get nominated, did he? For an Oscar?
Oh, no, I don't even know. I think he got a few nominations for the Oscars, but maybe not very many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the Academy Awards or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know if we want to go into the Oscars. I mean, you saw that.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Don't even get me started on Barbie. Come on, man. Margot Robbie, she killed it. She killed it.
Greta. Greta,
yeah.
No
nothing.
nominations.
I could not believe that.
But Ryan Gosling did.
The Gossel. Yeah, but he posted an Instagram post that was very like I love this man. I respect let's go to Ryan Gosling kick for just a moment. Appreciation post here. There was once like an actor's he won some sort of award, and Steve Carell was doing a speech because they were in a movie together. They were in
Crazy Stupid Love.
Crazy Stupid Love.
So good.
And Steve Carell said that like he asked Ryan Gosling what he was doing for like the weekend. Like, do you have any weekend plans?
Yeah.
Like Steve Carell's like, oh, I'm visiting my family and stuff, and then Ryan Gosling's like, oh, I'm going to a senior center and I'm playing with my band.
Oh, I think I saw
like
that.
Senior,
yeah,
for like senior citizens.
Yeah.
And not. Yeah, I just love him as a person. Back to the
snub,
awards,
but basically
the
of
snubs. The year. I just don't understand how. I mean, I understand how because Hollywood is just a bunch of like I'm just envisioning like them seeing Barbie. I thought this morning when I was driving to work. I was like, I bet they watched like these Hollywood whoever's in charge of this, they watched Barbie. They cried at the end because Ken no longer got to be with Barbie. I think that's probably like
that's it.
Yeah, instead of you expecting them to be crying because she's becoming a woman and she's like learning all this. I bet they were just like crying because but what about Ken? He's gonna be alone.
Oh jeez.
And like Ryan Gosling did a tremendous job as Ken.
Yeah,
that's a hard thing to pull off. But also for best actress, for her to not even get a nomination is so weird to me.
And we're not saying that they need to win by any means whatsoever. But just
they need
a
to be
nomination.
recognized for their work.
Exactly.
Because that is to women all around the world. Like that is a just symbolism, if more than anything, of just like that anything's possible.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I hate that they snubbed. And then Greta, I mean, come on. I have not seen a movie like Barbie in a long time where like aesthetically and just the idea behind the Barbie-verse. Or Barbie-verse, like it's a multiverse.
Multiverse.
But like bright color palettes, like the set designs, and even like the idea of like them showering with no actual water.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm like, I'll take that over Oppenheimer any day. I'm sorry. We watched Oppenheimer, didn't we?
We didn't watch it together, but I did watch it. We both did actually the Barbieheimer.
Yeah,
right?
Barbieheimer, yeah.
All together. But we did it separately.
Yeah, I think
we did
so.
it together. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think also America Ferrera came out and made a statement as well.
Yeah.
I think she made a statement nominated as well, saying she wouldn't be nominated. Ryan Gosling wouldn't be nominated if it wasn't for Margot Robbie produced it, and then obviously Greta directing it. So
yeah,
I mean, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I don't know what can we do.
Nothing.
Well.
It's not like they're gonna go back and fix it because it's already been submitted.
Yeah, that is true. But
Past Lives, I don't think.
Past Lives got nothing.
Yeah,
that's so wild. We haven't even. We were supposed to talk about Past Lives at some point, but we never. Maybe we should today. What do you listeners want to listen to? You want to hear us talk about Past Lives? Okay. Watch that movie on my own.
Oh, so good.
On a whim, because I was like, I heard this movie was good. I think you recommended it to me, and I watched it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't remember too much about it, actually, because I watched it maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, but it's not that long ago. But I remember it, like, just being heartbreaking, because it's like they never quite had their moment to be together. I mean, they talked to each other for a long time.
Yeah, but I think it was just different chapters of your life. And like, your first love, you grow up, you grow apart, things happen. I mean, ultimately at the end, I don't think it would have ever worked. Like, he was still back where he was. She already had developed a life. She was already married.
Yeah.
New relationship. Yeah, there's always a possibility of what if, and it was heartbreaking to see that, but that's life, and it happens every day.
Yeah, I mean they made a whole other movie about this called La La Land, but it's a little bit different. It seems as if this movie, she pursued her dreams, and he didn't really have that many dreams besides just kind of staying and doing his own thing. I don't remember the movie. We have to rewatch it. Maybe we shouldn't talk about Past Lives. Let's talk about
and
current
I didn't
lives.
see La La Land, so I don't.
You didn't?
I started it, but I just couldn't.
The producer's giving a look of disgust.
I know. I couldn't get into it. And I keep seeing things show up on my feed because Emma Stone's done some amazing things. I haven't seen Poor Things. I want to go watch Poor Things, so we should probably go watch that.
We should.
The Curse is on Showtime, and I've started it.
You have Showtime?
I do have Showtime.
I might need to borrow your login because I've been wanting to watch that with Nathan Fielder. And
I'm borrowing your Disney. You can borrow
my
Showtime.
Wait, are you?
Yikes. Cut that. Strike it.
My password is... No, I'm just kidding. We'll exchange information after the recording.
But I was thinking about, because I knew we were kind of going to talk about all that stuff about the relationship drama. Now that we're talking about past lives,
Past lives.
What kind of irks me a little bit is when people ask, and just people, like, maybe because I've had some conversations with friends lately about relationships in general.
Yeah.
I don't know why. No, I do know why. When people ask, hey, are you dating anybody right now?
You mean like our previous 2 podcasts ago when someone was asking if you were dating anyone? Yeah, because there is this sort of societal expectation that, like, if you're single, you're supposed to be with somebody. And that does bother me. Yeah,
but then I feel like, you say no, and then it's almost like, well, why not? Oh, we got to get you out there. Or da-da-da, and then
it's like their mission.
Yeah, but then I also feel like, for me, in my head, for whatever reason, I go down like this deep dark hole of like, well, why am I not with anybody? Should I be with somebody? Wait, maybe I'm not pretty enough. Maybe I need to go to the gym.
No,
Maybe
don't
I
say
did.
that.
But you know what I mean?
No,
Like
I
it's just
get
it's
that,
almost
yeah.
like, oh, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. No, but then
see,
but then
but-
stop looking
but-
at me, producer. But then I bounce out of it, and then I'm just like, no, like I'm at an age where I've done that, and I'm not saying it's something that I don't want, but I don't think it's something that's also a necessity.
Right.
Like if it happens, it happens. I don't think it should require like work.
Yeah.
Although maybe
Just let it naturally happen. That's fair.
but I think that does require us to get out of our bubble and our boxes a little bit.
Ugh, that's hard.
Because you're around the same people constantly, and
But wait, I want to go back to something, because like it's sad that like when someone asks you, then you go inward and think like, what's wrong with me? You know,
because
like
it's almost
I get
like
that.
Like, damn, maybe I should, but then it's just like, but why don't I?
It's overhyped, you know.
Yeah.
Like it is great if you experience it
Mm-hmm.
in that if you experience a romantic
Right.
relationship, it can be great. But also like if you're comfortable in your own skin, like I don't know, romantic relationships, it should be someone like wanting to experience your life with you,
Right.
instead of it being like, let's share lives. It's like, well, I suppose, but it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, here's a question: do you want to go out there and like, do you want to put yourself out there, or you just like let life happen naturally? What's your kind of headspace?
Yeah, I think so, but that's where I think we've talked about this. Where I mean, one of our other viewers is also single.
The one who also can cry.
Oh, not that one, a different one.
Oh, a different one?
Yes, Ari is mean. Ari J.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I did tell myself, and along with another person, that would, okay, cool, like I'll make an effort.
Right.
So I think I mentioned to you, I was like, oh, there's a speed dating thing coming up in February on Valentine's Day, actually.
Wow.
I know, right? But
that's
wouldn't
bold
that
move, Cotton.
suck though? And like if I did it, and if I didn't meet anybody.
Well, see, but then here's it again. Here's
Then
the
I'm just
societal
gonna-
pressure that you have to find somebody at speed
Yeah,
dating, and the
see?
societal pressure that you have to, on Valentine's Day, have to do something romantic.
Yeah, you know what bugged me about
It's
that too
stupid.
is I said, hey, come and do this with me, because I don't want to do it by myself, because I'm going to be really nervous. I want
Right.
to do it with somebody else. And they were like, well, I might be doing something. They don't have anybody else.
Oh, they don't?
They're like, it's almost like that day is an expectation to have somebody.
Oh,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right,
It's
right.
like,
They're
no.
anticipating that.
Yes, like
Okay.
something may happen. They're gonna do something. No, make that time for me.
Set
so we
something
can do
in
this
stone.
together.
Yeah, do something
Yeah.
together. Do something fun.
And you said you would support from afar.
I would support. Like
Yeah.
I would go. But the theme of it, or the style, is like a, what is it? The speed dating. It's a gay speed dating.
Well, LGBTQI. Yeah.
Plus.
That. But
Yeah.
I said,
That. Oh my god.
please don't cancel us.
Oh.
But I mean, I don't know if you're open to explore your sexuality. You might.
Oh well, that's producer is uncomfortable. Clearly, I don't know. Like the why not comes into question. I mean, I think I have been trying to explore this since my time being single, and I think that like I kind of am getting an idea of what I like, and I don't think I'm attracted to men personally, but it's not like a bad thing. But I find some men attractive. I find, but here's the Anna's like looking
No,
off
but
like,
I just
wait
think,
a minute.
like in general.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think all people are attractive.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like people can. I mean, yes.
I think people are attractive, but I wouldn't want to necessarily pursue.
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
I wouldn't. Yeah. It's not that I'm uncomfortable. It's just I
Right.
just don't think it's for me.
Right.
But I don't know.
I mean, I think the speed date is open to anything and everything. So, I think whatever the table brings.
Whatever the table, may the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
let's just.
I don't
say.
know. The thing for me is, I would be going to support you, not for me to do anything for myself. Because, like, I am just like one of our listeners who loves to cry. He's a cry man, not a cry baby. He's a cry man.
Difference, yeah.
I am single, and I'm absolutely okay with that. I'm comfortable.
Single, ready to mingle?
Ready to be single. Oh, bless you. I know that was a cough, but still bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's looking at you, kid. I'll support you from afar if you need me to show up. If Rej is mean doesn't show up.
Or if anybody out there wants to come with me just to support me,
Send an email to the sipandtruth@gmail.com.
We can do this together, and who knows, we might come out the other end
together. Email the Sip and Truth to get your chance at a date with the Anna Alvarado.
Oh my gosh. All right. Anyways.
Nice plug, Anna. You spent the last 10 minutes plugging.
Slide into my personal DMs, please, if anybody is interested. I'd appreciate it.
There you go.
But yeah, going off that a little bit.
Where do you go from here?
I know.
Luna.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, we didn't even talk about that. And we have, about 19 minutes left.
Oh, that's perfect.
We coasted through this.
I know.
This has been my favorite podcast so far, by the way. I think that wine definitely helped, but
right?
it also the comfort of your bedroom.
In here.
I think that's maybe nervousness a little bit. Who knows? Producer definitely is giggling over there. So I am trying to stick on a budget, and
my goodness,
Anna approaches me because the last podcast or the last couple I've approached, I've said on the podcast that I don't have a lot of money, so like how can we find and do events that are budget friendly? So Anna comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, I want to do this taco. I want to go to this." Oh. The people who are watching the video get a nice extra special treat. You won't know what it is unless you watch the video. We're not going to disclose what just happened, but something magical did. So Anna's like, "Hey, there's this taco. What was it? Taco festival? Like an all day, not all day." Oh, Anna's coughing.
We need to cut that.
No, we're not cutting anything. It's going to take too much of our budget.
Oh my gosh, and we don't have one. So
yeah, exactly.
It was a taco festival we had saw online, and essentially it was unlimited tacos and unlimited beer.
Okay.
I think it was $85. And I think we had talked about this a few weeks ago, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. It sounds like a good time. But we're going to wait until we get paid.
Right.
Because we want to wait for a payday.
Mm-hmm.
So we waited, and when payday came, it was sold out.
Yep.
So we had to
the evening, right? Or the
afternoon slot. But it was honestly probably best we did because it rained all day that day, and I don't think I would have had a good time being out there at 7:00 at night.
Yeah. So then Anna was like, "All right, so first off, the taco thing was a little bit expensive. It's going to be about like $80 upwards." So then she was like, "Well, because we're trying to be more conscious of your budget, let's go to this Luna festival. Not festival, Luna exhibit."
Right.
And the price tag was $96 with all tax included, $96. And that's because we got the VIP experience. What was it called? The Moon
Weekend or something like that?
No, it was the Moon. Yeah, the Moon Pass.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? $85, $96. Let's do that. I didn't actually think that. I was like, all right, well, my budget says no, but my adventurous heart for the podcast says yes.
Yeah, thank you.
For the friendship. I can't just blame it on the podcast. And so me, Anna, and the producer, what day was that? Was that Friday?
It was a Saturday.
It was a Saturday because I had off. Saturday in the pouring rain in my electric vehicle, which the heater doesn't work, so the windshield was foggy as hell. It's raining a little bit. It's one of those, it's not full on rain, but it's like when you're walking, you feel the mist of it. The rain drops like hitting you. we get there, and there's a little coffee cart outside. And I'm like, oh my God, yes. Well, you said, oh, I want to get something. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. I bet they don't have hot chocolate. And the producer was like, they do. And I was like, no way. So I got their hot chocolate, which was amazing. It was incredible. Not La La Land's, the coffee shop. Oh my God, Anna. Not La La Land's, the coffee shop, hot chocolate good. But this was like below that, above Dinosaur Cafe.
Dinosaurs moving on down.
And, we got the drinks. It's like nice and warm on a chill, cool afternoon almost. And we get to the door to go in. They're like, no drinks inside. We're like, fuck. We just bought this hot chocolate. I chugged my hot chocolate, basically. And then Anna just, threw half of hers away. Yeah. I think the same for the producer as well.
Literally had to. I mean, it was good, but yeah, I mean, at that point, we were there, we were excited, and we just wanted to get in.
Yeah.
So it was just like, okay, cool.
Fine.
Let's get in there.
And then we walk in, and I knew nothing about this. Did you know anything about this?
No.
Or like anything beforehand?
Only what I saw on social media, which wasn't very much. All I knew it was like the first like amusement park that had opened in, you're going to correct me. The 80s in
Germany.
Hamburg, Germany.
Hamburg. With a hamburger.
I just knew of some of the artists that I like, David Hockney and Keith Haring. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to see this. Like we went to the Bro to see Keith Haring, and I definitely.
He was there?
His art was there.
Yeah, he's not alive anymore. Sorry.
I'm rolling the eyes right now.
Give him the stare. The viewers could see this.
So yeah, like I told Kaden, Kaden's like, oh, so expensive. I don't know if I can do this. And I said, Kaden, listen, you do what you want to do, but I'm going to go do this.
Right.
So if you want to come with me, you can come with me.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to come with me, I understand.
Nothing like an ultimatum to motivate me. Either go with me or we're not hanging out ever. Dude, Anna, just walk away for like 2 minutes and get your life sorted out. So we waited in line. We got our moon passes, and they told us that it was going to be, there were a few exhibits that we got to see on top of what was already there. So it was like, oh, that's cool. They show a video, like a 1-minute video before we walk in, and it gives the background of this art installation. So it was like a theme park, an amusement park, but all of these world-renowned artists collaborated together to create the designs, and they painted and they sculpted these rides. And they're very unique. We walked in, first thing I see is that Ferris wheel. And I'm like, I want to ride. Well, no, not Ferris wheel. Sorry, the swing ride. It was like carousel swings. So yeah, we walk in, and the lighting is beautiful. From the amusement park rides, it's like what's that swing ride that people ride, and
the swing ride.
She's dying. The swing ride.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on.
I got the black lung pa.
Yeah, no, but okay. First of all, I think to you at one point, I was like, man, we should have came here high, because I think this experience would have been totally different.
Yeah, because it was very colorful, very vibrant. I mean, there were some weird parts, but we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah, majority of it was weird. But I think that's what's so cool about it. Like, as a child, and I think I mentioned this to you, like, I don't know if I would have enjoyed this. I think I might have been scared.
Yeah.
Like, those carousel ride things that had, like, the seats that were, like, the finger and...
the finger and, like, yeah.
The fish and... whatever else they were, like...
The whole fart thing was just weird for me.
The fart thing?
The fart thing.
Oh my gosh.
There was just like a whole theme around just like, I know it's for kids. It's a kids amusement park, but like even in the 80s, it's like very lewd, like farts. Like, I don't even know. There was like a lot of art, but also there was like a video that showed that like someone playing a trumpet, like farting with their butt.
It was multiple people. They came out.
Multiple?
Yeah, because if you saw the video, they introduced the person, and then they had him go behind the wall. and they basically pulled down their pants and put their butt out and tooted in the fruit. Tooted in
Tooted the flute. Tooted the fruit. Tooted the fruit.
Tooted in the trumpet.
Tooted the... Yeah.
Right? That's what it was. It was.
Why do you look so confused? Why are you looking at me like...
Right? I'm like, wait. They were definitely...
Did that happen?
It was...
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe that happened at...
Yeah. And then there were like pillars outside the bathroom. Well, not an actual bathroom,
the poop.
Yeah, the poop. There were pillars with stacks of poop on top of them.
But you remember why, right?
What do you mean? Do I remember?
So
why?
I don't know where that was. Essentially, that's a way to tell people that that's the restroom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. I said the bathroom. I said,
oh, okay.
Like outside the, like not the actual bathroom, but like in the past, that's where those pillars were.
They couldn't just put a sign that said.
I mean, I think if it's for kids, it's a universal sign. Like if kids see the turd, they're like,
I wonder if that's where the emoji came from of poop.
Poop.
Because it looked like the exact emoji that we use now.
Yeah, that is true.
And that was before
that was in the
phones,
80s.
yeah.
That's exactly right.
That's wild. My poop does not look like that.
You look at your poop.
Don't act like you don't look at your poop.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Come on. And
I don't.
And I've seen my dog poop. So,
okay.
I mean, I definitely.
It's all fair.
Okay.
I use a bidet. So I
do you? Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
you do.
I have two bidets, one upstairs and one in the downstairs bathroom.
Honestly, when I went to Japan,
We're talking about poop, guys. It had
to
happen
getting
sooner
into
or later.
Details. But when I went to Japan,
okay.
And I had to use a bidet, it was so confusing.
Oh yeah.
But also, if it's something that you're not used to, I don't know. I just felt weird afterwards. Even though it's probably the cleanest way for you to be, I didn't feel clean.
Interesting. Okay. Do you feel like you would have been more clean if you wouldn't have used it?
And like it just wiped like usual?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it was just because it was so like wet back there. Anyways, we need to talk about let's just talk about something else. Anyway,
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Luna. Anyways,
Luna.
Oh,
right.
What was crazy is when we were waiting in line to go into one of the big structures, the moon. Remember the moon girl?
Oh my God. I thought the moon girl was cool, but you were kind of creeped out by her.
At first, I don't know why. I don't know. I was like a little traumatized by it a little bit.
So
I don't know. I just freaked out.
To give our listeners and viewers a little bit of perspective, so there was a character in a moon costume, and she would just like walk around and just talk to people who were either waiting in line, and she was just like, oh, they won't let me in that exhibit anymore because I did a cartwheel. And it's like, okay. Oh, we didn't even talk about, so we got the moon pass.
Yes.
And there were specific exhibits we could go in. So there was that one kind of playground. What was that thing? What was that?
Yeah, I don't even know what that was.
It's a wooden structure.
Yeah, I mean, we danced a little bit in there.
Yeah.
I felt like it was going to fall beneath us because the wood was just creaking like crazy.
Yeah.
That's where the moon girl got kicked out of, she said, because she did too many, or she did a cartwheel. The other one was really cool. It was the big like dome where it had all the mirrors, but it's like you couldn't really find where you were at for a minute. That was really cool. And we got a picture. We got we didn't get a Polaroid for that.
Right.
We got pictures.
I wanted to, but there wasn't an option for a Polaroid printout. So
not for that. It was for the marriage, and you wanted to get married to your phone.
I did. Okay. Yeah, there was also a marriage ceremony, which was kind of like you can marry whoever or whatever you want.
Exactly.
I didn't know if it was like a legit thing of like, oh, are they actually marrying people here? But I found out later that that wasn't the case.
No, that was.
But I thought that was fun, and there were like people sitting in the audience of this like chapel area,
right?
And they were just like clapping, and it's like they don't know these people, probably not. But is that snoring from this?
You scared him.
Sorry.
Yes, Baxter is snoring. It's his bedtime.
Yeah, it's mine too. I get it.
That's a lie.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean?
You are up until all hours of the evening.
That is not true.
Like 2, 3 a.m. is maybe.
I used to. I can't do that anymore.
Oh.
Ever since I got sick, like back this past August, like my sleep, I have to go to bed by at least 11 or midnight. I try to be in bed by midnight.
We got to wrap this up then.
It's fine. I'll have to go home and edit some of this, of course, and try to get it up by tomorrow for all of you listeners. But yeah, anything else about that Luna experience? I'm trying to think of. I would say, as much as we were recommended to do the moon pass, I was fine if we didn't. Honestly,
Yeah.
for the $50 extra, basically to just stand on some old. I mean, it was kind of cool to be a part of the art in that one to be able to walk in. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Well, I think we're gonna go back again. My mom comes into town pretty soon, and she wants to go.
Okay.
I don't think we would do the moon pass again. She doesn't have any interest in it, but I think it would have bothered me if I went and didn't get the moon pass, because then I would have been like, well, what am I missing out that I can't see?
Right.
So I did it. I experienced it. I'm good.
Yeah. But overall, I loved it. I mean,
we got so much merch.
Shop. Yeah.
Oh.
Went to the gift shop. There's like nothing in my size, unfortunately, of what I wanted, which is kind of
the one shirt
talking about, because you were talking about like things that like make you start to doubt yourself. It's like, well, nothing fits me because my body type, and I start to get down on my. Anyway,
it's because he's so tall. Everybody likes a tall guy.
But I'm also a little bit
What are you?
chubby,
6?
a little chubby.
6 what?
6'4".
6'4"
like
for all those viewers, those ladies that like a man that's 6'4".
Specifically that height. Nothing. Well, technically, probably 6'3" right now because I have back issues. If you like a 6'4" man with slight back issues and hip problems,
a slight hump in the back that brings it down to 6'3".
a measly, a cool 6'3". Hey, email thesippandtruth@gmail.com.
A tall guy. Slide into his.
Every girl likes a broken man they could fix. Like a broken back, or I don't know. Anyway.
Or man. So anyways, yes.
Or man, you're right.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of wine, and I think that hit the spot for me. That was great.
Okay, so
we
finished that experience. We had a good time.
Okay.
Went to merch. You got a shirt that I told you, just give it to me.
It's a large, and it
honestly
perfectly.
It does. It fits him perfectly. He's worried about that when he essentially washes it, it's going to shrink and it's become a crop top. I told him he looks good in a crop top. Again, ladies, if you're interested in a man that's 6'3",
you haven't seen me in a crop top. You saw me in the crop top hoodie, but that was like side. It was weird.
It was great.
It's like a side angle.
But I said, give it to me. I'll wash it. I'll take care of it so that you know that it's not going to shrink.
Right. Yeah.
You'll be fine.
I'll just not dry it.
Yes, we've talked about the regimen of this. But afterwards, you recommended a restaurant to go to that you heard about.
Oh my God, we didn't even get into that. Oh my God, we're gonna have to trim this down. Absolutely, maybe your coughing fit will have to.
Yes,
get we'll have to remove some stuff.
But essentially, I said yes. Let's go to Luna downtown, and you're like, and I'm like, and then afterwards, because the taco festival didn't go through, let's go out to eat. Let's just go have a nice dinner. And you had brought up Amonte.
Yeah, Almonte.
Amante.
Oh, Amante. Yes, we're both saying it wrong. Amante.
Amante. Yeah. And I'm like, cool. What is that? And then you proceeded to tell me.
It was an Italian restaurant that I saw on TikTok, and it looks so good. Mm-hmm. And like, the owner, she's like this older.
And we got to see her.
We got to meet her. We got to. Well, we didn't like exchange names, but we got to.
I tried to help you out with that.
Well, no. I was nervous because it was like I wanted to thank her for the food. Anyway, so then we get there, and I'm like, all right, well, there was no recommendations in the video, but the server, luckily, he was like, we were going to get garlic bread, and then he was like,
oh, yes.
No, you're going to get the cheesy bread. Or, like, he recommended. He's like, I recommend the cheesy bread.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, sure, let's get the cheesy bread, because it's shareable.
Right.
And the producer was gone for a brief moment.
Oh yeah, when they brought the cheesy bread.
And we
were just going to town.
I had that first bite, and you had your first bite. We just kind of looked at each other. We didn't even say anything. Yeah. We just like looked at each other. We're like, "Oh my God," and then we just kept eating it. It was probably the most delicious really appetizer I've ever had in my life. And, we had a great time, from that cheesy bread, and then we ordered our food. Mm-hmm. I got I don't even remember what it was called. Technically, I was supposed to get their house, like, spaghetti with their meat sauce, their house-made meat sauce. But the waiter was like, you know what, try the penne pasta instead. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'll take your recommendation. You got me the cheesy bread, you son of a gun. And what did you get?
I got I think it was the penne al vodka with shrimp.
Right. And the producer got a kid's skillet with a 4-cheese. What was it? 4 cheese?
Oh, yeah. It was a 4-cheese spaghetti thing. And she added salmon.
Salmon.
Because I wanted to try it. So.
But it came in a small skillet. And that's why I say kids.
That's right. Wait. Because she got 2 different plates, right? It was like the spaghetti and then the salmon was on the side. And so you had to put it together.
Yeah. It was like that. And, oh my God. We went from talking...
I don't think we talked
as soon as that food, like, I took a couple of bites and I was just I've never eaten like food like that ever in my life. It was so delicious and my body just didn't know what to do with it. Like I felt like I told you I felt like we had like a high. I had a high.
Yeah.
Of like, is this what life could be? Is this real life?
It's funny because remember there was a picture of the Coliseum in the back, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember when I went to my trip and we had lunch, essentially across from it, and we were looking at it." And you're like, and I feel like in that moment you transported yourself to Rome, and you were living that experience because
I was there. I jumped through the painting.
You were just.
I was there.
You were loving it.
And we didn't really. We tried to talk throughout, while eating throughout the whole experience, but we're just like we're just gonna savor this, man. I wolfed mine down, but I stopped myself halfway through. I was like, I need to like not try to. It's a childhood thing. It's another like habit that I picked up of just eating fast. But it's like I gotta savor this food.
Yeah. You know, it was so crazy because they brought out the complimentary bread. I remember we were using the bread to get like the sauce. I mean, everybody does it, right?
You
need to get every
clean
piece.
That plate.
And I remember you were done at that point, and I'm like, I'm gonna ask him for more bread because I have sauce.
Yeah.
And yours was, I think, at that point probably already dried to the plate where you probably couldn't even get it up.
I couldn't.
That server brought the bread, and all I saw was your hand go, and you're like scraping that sauce off. Getting every last piece off of there.
Oh my God.
That's how you know it's good food.
Oh, and I forgot to mention we got there and we didn't have a reservation and we sat at like near the bar.
Which was fine.
Yeah, which was fine. But then like the owner came to us and she's like, "Do you want a table?"
Yeah.
And then we were like, what did you said? Do you have one? And she's like, "That's why I'm asking."
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna be spicy."
Yeah, their menus were just like in Italy with like the leather type of menus, and it was just.
I know.
It was beautiful.
And you got so happy. You're like, "That's the owner. That's the owner from TikTok. That's the owner."
From TikTok. So all of you listening, check out Amante.
Yes.
It's in downtown LA, and oh my God, it's affordable too. It's like it's not that bad if you just get cheesy bread and you're. Now Anna and the producer got a flight of spirits.
Yeah, because and it wasn't that much. It was $15. I wanted a different one that was actually the most expensive one, but they recommended it, and I said, sure, I'll take your recommendation. It was good. I enjoyed it, and I drank it all, and afterwards we almost got tattoos, but we didn't because they were closed. I know.
It was a wild night, y'all. It was a wild day.
But instead we saw some crackheads on the streets of downtown LA.
Yeah.
And we got some ice cream.
Yeah. And where was that? It was called Paradise, but it was like Paradis. Paradise. Also in downtown. Sure. Yeah. Oh, and you got $10 for your parking.
Oh my God. It was like a win-win of a night for me.
I'm so stupid. So this ice cream place was like 0.2 miles away from the park where I currently parked.
Yes. Well, one, if you're going to go to this restaurant, they do have a parking structure right next to it. So if you don't mind
like
spending, $10, you can literally park right there in a corner.
Yeah.
We ate all this food. I'm feeling full and kind of, okay, I need to maybe like work this off. Like, let's just walk to the ice cream place. We literally got 2 steps and Kanan's like, I don't really want to walk.
I don't want to walk. I want to drive. Because I knew that it was like
it was literally right there.
It was 0.4 miles away, but like a 2-minute. Well, I don't know how long.
And listen, it all worked out.
Yeah.
We ended up pulling up to the parking structure. They're like, it's going to be $10. I said, it's okay. I got cash. I gave Kaden the cash. She gave it to the person working the door. All of a sudden, they give us change back. And I was like, okay. And then as he's looking for parking, I'm counting it. I'm like, oh, maybe they gave me, wait a minute. I got $10 back. I'm like, that's fine. Don't worry.
But it was different. It was different currency than what you gave them. It wasn't like you gave them two fives.
And they gave me back a 5 and 5 ones.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe because we said, I don't know, but
I don't know, man.
I saved money. We got free parking.
And then we still had to walk the same distance to get to this ice cream place.
Yeah, because we got lost on the way back trying to find the car.
Oh, my God. It was a whole thing. But, yeah, wow. Based on you listeners who have stayed and viewers who have kept up with us this whole time, it's been over an hour, which is wild. What do you think of our experience? What would you have done, I guess, in our scenario? What kind of question would you ask them? Based on our experience.
Wait, actually, what are they asking? About what?
What?
What are they asking?
No, I'm asking them, like, what do they think of what we did?
Oh, yeah. Or if you guys have any recommendations of where we can go eat next.
Oh, yeah.
Or any events that are going on that require little to no money.
Yeah. Or $100, up to you. But specifically only $100.
Only, no more than $100.
Some things that we're trying to plan in the future. Pottery. We're trying to do in March. We're giving a little preview, a little sneak peek. If you
we talked about pottery. Yeah. We talked about Turkish lamps.
What?
Yeah, we showed you this.
Turkish lamps.
Yeah, the lamps that you put like the different tiles on, and then you create the turkey.
What the hell?
You're not a good listener. He's 6'4", guys, but he's not a listener. Okay, anyway. So,
yes, the Turkish lamps. Yes. We're cutting it back. Yes, the Turkish lamps,
Turkish
of course.
What else? I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to take cooking classes.
Yeah, I agree. That would. Yeah, I mean, I love to cook, but we'll talk about that in another podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything they can think of that would require us to go and do something would be fun.
We might, depending on Anna, if she has the right amount of tickets being shipped, we might. I might go to Coachella for the first time potentially.
Dun dun dun. That's going to be, and we will be actually live broadcasting. You know why?
With what service at Coachella?
We don't need service. We'll figure something out. But all the cool kids crew that was in Tulum.
Live broadcast with no service, everybody.
Well, we can record it and then
figure it out.
Exactly. There's a hill. We can go to the top of the hill and get service.
Okay. There you go.
All the cool kids will be there, so you'll get to meet everybody from Tulum. Listen, I just want to let the audience members know now this. If something happens to Caden while he is there, it is not my responsibility.
And what does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah, I do need an air tag.
I told him, he probably needs an air tag.
I'll buy a dog collar and then put an air tag. I'll put an air tag in the dog. I
think you would be fine. I told you, don't fall into any of the peer pressure that you may get.
I'm
and it's gonna be
very
mainly
good
for
at
me.
That, surprisingly,
do it. Do it.
I'm pretty good at that. I'm good at not really succumbing to peer pressure, especially if it's with a group. I'm really good at saying no, unless it's from you and you nag me over for Iron Claw. No nagging.
No.
But now we're just rambling at this point.
Yeah.
Let's close this podcast.
Okay. But this will be the year we're getting Caden out of his bubble. So far.
That was the microphone.
I know, it sounded like a fart. I thought you were trying to blow into the trumpet at the art museum.
To recap our podcast, crying tears, poop, and farting.
Yes.
There you go. We'll still have to think of a name, but I think I found it for this episode.
I got it.
All right, well, thank you all for listening. This has been The Sip and Truth with Anna and Kanan.
This has been great.
And the producer who has been in the background this whole time.
Yeah.
Stay in touch. Email us. DM us on our handle.
Slide into our personal 6'4", guys. Remember
that. She's doing speed dating. So you guys remember that too.
Or if you just want to go on a date.
I guess. So it seems like you are open. All right. Bye, everybody.